Hi, good evening everyone. Today is the day 36 of Gear Up Mains Answer Writing. In this week, we will discuss the question related to environment. In the last week, we discussed the question related to economy. In this week, we are discussing the environment question. Those who are new here, for them, this program includes a daily discussion of a question from the UPSC previous year. We are discussing question we are giving in the morning to you in the Telegram group for the Edukemy. You can also write these answers and submit to the portal so our expert can evaluate your answer. Okay, this is the one of the program through which you can learn how to write an effective answer. What is the major demand of the question? How to break an answer into the multiple parts and then write the parts continuously. So there is a coherence between the part. If you are writing without thinking, just reading the question, you will not able to write all the part of the question. Okay, I think this is clear to you. This is the day 36. We already covered the 35 questions on 35 days. I request to all of you, please listen those video also and make the notes and learn the art of breaking the question and how we can attempt all the part of the question in the answer. Okay, so let's start the question for today. Today's question is, it's from environment. Discuss the global warming and mention its effect on the global climate. Explain the control measures to bring down the level of greenhouse gases which cause global warming in the light of Kyoto Protocol of 1997. So we need to discuss this question about the global warming. The question is saying, discuss the global warming and mention its effect on the global climate. Explain the control measures to bring down the level of greenhouse gases which cause global warming, and we need to discuss this thing in the light of Kyoto Protocol of 1997, which was mainly related to the greenhouse gases. Okay, as usual, we are dividing the question into three parts. The first part is the introduction. First part is the introduction. Second part is the body part. And the third is the conclusion. Third is the conclusion. The main difference is we have an issue of writing the body part. How we can divide the body part into multiple parts? The body part can be divided according to the demand of the question. If you see, the question is saying discuss the global warming. So in the introduction, we will write about what is global warming. Then the question is saying mention the effects on the global climate. So the first heading in the body part will be effects of global warming. First heading will be the effects of the global warming, where the second part is saying explain the control measures to bring down the level of greenhouse gases. What can be done for reducing the greenhouse gases? So second heading will be measures to control greenhouse gases. This will you write in the second heading in the body part. Then let's come to the lower part of the answer. The answer is saying discuss in the light of the Kyoto Protocol. Discuss in the light of the Kyoto Protocol. So the third heading will be here about the Kyoto Protocol, a brief about the Kyoto Protocol. Okay, so this is the body part. It's required the three sub part: the effect of global warming globally, measures to control the global warming, and the finally about the Kyoto Protocol. We will write in this question. Okay, clear. Now let's come to the introduction part. How we will write a good introduction? In the case of the global warming, if you are having a report of IPCC related to the global warming, or the report of the UNEP or the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, so you can directly start the question with the recent report. If you have had data with you with the IPCC, UNEP Ministry of Environment, so you can quote directly the data or directly the report related to the global warming. The second way of writing a good introduction is, the question is asking about global warming. The question is asking about global warming. So you can directly write about, you can directly explain the global warming, exactly what is the global warming. So global warming is increase in the temperature. Increase in the temperature of Earth due to various regions. It may be the anthropogenic region, it may be due to the agriculture, it may be due to the industrial pollution. Means there is an increase in the greenhouse gases there, which leads to increase in the temperature, and finally which leads to the global warming. So this is the introduction. You can write or you can start with your answer. Okay, so first, the major idea, if we have a good report related to global warming of IPCC, so we can write the reports and give a brief about the global warming. If we don't have the reports, हमें याद नहीं है report के बारे में, so we can directly explain the global warming, that's increase in the temperature of Earth due to anthropogenic action, due to agriculture, due to the industrial pollution, which lead to increase in the greenhouse gases into the environment, and which finally lead to global warming. So this is the introduction you can write for this question. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now let's come to the body part. This question is asking three parts in the body. One is the effect. One is the effect of global warming. Second, how we can control the global warming. Second is the what measures can be taken to control the global warming. And the third, the question is asking about the Kyoto Protocol. We need to discuss all these things in the with respect to the Kyoto Protocol. With respect to Kyoto Protocol. Okay, now come to the first part, the effect of the global warming. So let's discuss the first part, the effect of the global warming. So this is the first part of the answer. We will discuss the effect of global warming. Effect of global warming. The first we will write, lead to increase in temperature, lead to increase in temperature. With global warming, there is an increase in the temperature. That further lead to melting of ice, glacier, increase in the sea level, Second, you can write about, first is the lead to increase in the temperature, and the second you can write about increase in the sea level. Global warming which lead to increase in the sea level. Due to the increase in the higher temperature, there is an increase in the sea level. There was a report in the newspaper recently which was saying about due to the continuous increase in the temperature, there is a multiple time increase in the melting of the glacier, which lead a threat to the country which are on the coast of the sea. Because there is a report which tells us there is a increase in the 100 time melting of, Alaska glacier. There is an increase in the melting of Alaska glacier 100 times. So this is the impact, this is the effect of the global warming. So you need to be write these kind of example, if you're not supporting your arguments with the example, then you will get an average marks. So there is a need to support the each point of your answer with example. Okay. Now let's come to the next one. Change in the climate pattern. The next point can be the change in climate pattern. Change in climate pattern. How? How the global warming is changing the climate pattern? Change in the climate pattern. So in this case, the change in climate pattern, we are seeing heat waves. Heat waves. We are seeing the floods in some of the area. So these are the change in the climate pattern. Even the kind of North India situation today, we can see the impact of the climate change, the impact of the global warming, the floods in the northern part of the India. And there is also one of the region of the marine heat waves. Marine heat waves. According to a study by the science group, they are saying the 93%, they are saying the 93% of the greenhouse gases are absorbed by the ocean, which leads to increase in the temperature of the ocean, and which is a major cause of the marine heat waves. Means the 93% of the sun rays reaches to earth. These rays are absorbed by the greenhouse gases, and these greenhouse gases are the major hub as a sea surface. So these are stored in the sea surface, which leads to the marine heat waves. Which leads to the marine heat waves. So this is the effect of the global warming. These are the broad perspective of the global warming. So here you need to be write the example with each of them. The next point we can write here. The next we can write change in the weather pattern as well. Change in the weather pattern. If you see, due to the global warming, there is a change in the weather pattern. In some of the cases, we see there is an increase in the temperature, where the temperature range was near about 30 to 35. Now it's reaching more than the 45 plus. The case of the UK, the case of the Europe nowadays. So you can write about this example. Even in the case of the India, there is excess rain in northern India. Drought in some of the case, drought in some of the area which earlier received the high rainfall. So there is a need to be mentioned these type of the effect of the global warming. Remember a point, if you're writing any of the argument, writing any of the points related to global warming, it should be supported by examples. It should be supported by example. Okay. So this was the first part. This was the first part of the answer. We discussed about the effect of global warming here. Now let's come to the second part. Now come to the second part of the answer, which is asking us about the measures, which is asking us about measures for global warming, measures for decrease the global warming or the greenhouse gases, measures for global warming and decrease in the greenhouse gases. This is the second part of the question. So we need to address this as well. In the first example, in the first point in the measures, we can write about the one measures we can write about sustainability, environment. We can focus on the environment in the urban area, where the municipality can play a major role, where a municipality can play a major role about the release of the gases, the sustainable buildings in the urban area, and some of the initiatives by municipality like the green buildings, less emission from households, So this is the first point you can write about what measures can be taken related to the global warming. To mention about this, you can give an example here. You can mention a school in the Rajasthan, which is specifically in the desert, where the temperature is almost 50 degrees Celsius, but they make that school as a sustainable buildings, which reduce the temperature to near about the 36-37 degrees Celsius inside the school. Similarly, there is a hotel which instead of using the AC, using the venting system through the water. Venting system through the water means there is a water pool outside the hotel, and the air is passing through those water pools and providing a cold air to the hotel room. So these are new kind of the inventions which are helping in controlling the global warming. So this is the first point we can write, what kind of the measures can be taken by the governments, or what measures can be taken for reducing the global warming. The second point we can write here related to it. The second point we can write related to agriculture pattern. Agriculture. We need to be focused on the agriculture as well, because some of the crops in India are the highly releasing the methane. There was a question in the prelims as well related to the paddy. Which is a major cause of the releasing of the methane. Even in the case of the animal husbandry, there is a release of the methane, which is a major greenhouse gas. So we need to be focused on the agriculture. The agriculture can be the climate resilient agriculture, CSA, climate smart agriculture. So we need to be focused on those variety of the crops, climate resilient crops, climate smart agriculture. There was a question in the prelims as well on the climate smart agriculture. So we need to be focused on the agriculture pattern. Subsidies for environment friendly crops, like for this year is a famous for millets crops, which are the environmental friendly, which consume less amount of water, which release less greenhouse gas. So these kind of the steps required for the agriculture. We should focus on the climate smart agriculture. There should be a climate resilient crops, subsidies specifically for the crops which are environmental friendly. The next point we can write here, the point related to the urban infrastructure. Green buildings, sustainable infrastructure, which can help in reducing the temperature. So this can be the next point. And one of the important points is the energy. One of the important point is the energy. The India should focus on renewable energy. The world should focus on renewable energy. You can write the target about it, like the India had a target of 175 gigawatt up to 2022, but India missed this target. So you can write about the energy, the renewable energy. less focus on coal energy, which is one of the reasons for the increase in the global warming. Switching toward electric vehicle. Switching toward, this can be the next point, the switching toward electric vehicle. Electric vehicle, like the government can provide the subsidy. Government can provide subsidy for the electric vehicle, like you can give the example of FAME schemes by the government of India, faster adoptability of the electric vehicle. So you can write about these schemes. Government initiative, when you're writing about what measures can be taken up for reducing the global warming, for reducing the greenhouse gases. So these are some of the examples you can write in your answer. Now, the third part, specifically the question is writing, we need to discuss all these things in the light of Kyoto Protocol. We need to discuss these things in the light of Kyoto Protocol. So in the Kyoto Protocol, this was the only protocol. This is the only protocol in the world which is binding. Which is binding to its member, and this is the only protocol which is signed by all the members of UN. Signed by all members of the UN. So this is the important information about the Kyoto Protocol, even important for the prelims as well. The Kyoto Protocol we started in 1997, specifically focus on reducing the greenhouse gases. The aims and objective of the Kyoto Protocol specifically focusing on reducing the greenhouse gases. Signed in the 1997, binding to this member party, and all the members of the UN are the party to it. The next point is the Kyoto Protocol. The Kyoto Protocol have the common but differentiated responsibility. This is the important point about the Kyoto Protocol, means having a common but differentiated responsibility. The Kyoto Protocol is having the common but differentiated responsibility. Means the developed country will focus on reducing the greenhouse gas emission, but they also support the developing country. Even the developing country, it also will play a role in controlling the greenhouse gas emission. So it's focusing on common but differentiated responsibility. And the main target of reducing the greenhouse gas emission, and there is a specific target designed by each country, decided by each country. There is a specific target which is decided by each country, specific for UK, USA, and other country in the world. So this is about the Kyoto Protocol. So you need to write in a brief. You need to write in a brief, not in an explanatory way. You need to write in a brief about the Kyoto Protocol as well, because the question, there is a tail attached to the question. If you see the question again, there is a tail attached to the question. We need to discuss in the light of Kyoto Protocol of 1997. Okay, so the question is asking about the effect of the greenhouse gases. We discussed the effects. We discussed the measure to control the greenhouse gases, and we also discussed about the Kyoto Protocol. So if we see again here, in the introduction, we can start with the reports, with the global warming reports by the IPCC, or we can directly start with the what is the global warming. And so what is the major cause, we can give the 1 or 2 example in the introduction itself. Then we will focus on the effect of global warming. There can be the various effects, so we discuss those effects. So we can write using the side headings, but the one thing to remember here, you need to add examples in each point, so your answer can be enriched. That examples, case study, data will separate your answer from others, and you can fetch a good marks in this question. This is a 15 marker. You can get maximum 7 if you're writing examples, data, case study, and some relevant points related to the question. And one more thing, if you're addressing all the part, because body here is having 3 parts, so you need to be address all the part of the answer. Next, we discuss about the measures of the global warming. We discuss about all the measures related to global warming, even it's our environmental urban area, even it's about the agriculture, even it's about the urban transportation, urban infrastructure, or about the energy or the switching toward the EV vehicles. So these are the some of the measures can be taken. Then finally, we discuss about the Kyoto Protocol. In the Kyoto Protocol, it's the only protocol which is signed by all the members of UN, and it's a binding protocol, specifically focused on the greenhouse gases, having the common but differentiated responsibility, and specifically focus on the reduction of the greenhouse gases. Specific target assigned by the countries to reducing the greenhouse gas emission. Now, we are left with the conclusion part. How we will conclude this answer? How we will conclude this answer? This answer can be concluded in the various way. The first way can be, you can write a balanced conclusion, writing about the countries are doing efforts for reducing the greenhouse gas emission, but there is a certain way so that this process can be speed up. There are no proper effort done by the developed country, and you should mention some of the examples related to this. You can mention the example of the US, you can mention the example of UK, even in the case of a developing country, you can mention the example of China as well, which are doing the less efforts for reducing the greenhouse gas emission. The second way, you can end this question with the help of a quote, which are specifically the environment specific. You can also end up with this. The third way to end this answer, even after the more than 20 years, it's almost 25 years of the Kyoto Protocol, what is the status of the greenhouse gas emission? What percentage of the greenhouse gas decrease even after 25 years? So you can also conclude in this way. So there can be the various way for conclusion of this answer. So this is done for today. We will discuss the new question tomorrow at the same time, the 6 p.m. Please try to write the answer. We are providing you the question in the Telegram groups of the Edukemy. You can directly write the answer and submit to the Edukemy website with the program, the name Master Program. Master Program for mains and the prelims. You can enroll to the course at free of cost and can submit your answer to this portal. Okay. So we will discuss the new question tomorrow. Till then, please watch all the videos of 36 days. This is the best way to learn how to break a question, how to write a good answer, what kind of the requirement for writing a good answer, how we can inculcate the data, how we can add the case study, how we can add the examples in the question of the UPSC. If we are understanding the demand of the UPSC questions, means we are understanding the demand of the exam. So this is the main prior thing that is required for your preparation. Okay, bye bye, take care. We will meet tomorrow at the same time, the 6 p.m. See you tomorrow. Thank you everyone. Thank you.